I am Stasia and I have recently lost almost 50 pounds following a plant-based diet in the last several months. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 different things that I did to change my mindset to help me get that weight off. Now, much like a lot of you guys out there who are watching this video, I really struggled to lose weight, like really struggled for many years, and that includes even while I was following a plant-based diet. I just couldn't seem to get it to work. So in the last 6-7 months, I finally figured out what works for me, and the weight is finally starting to shift. So I have made a lot of videos where I go into great detail about exactly what I've done to get the weight off. So if you're interested in finding out exactly what I did, then I will post a few of those videos in my description box below. So be sure to check them out because there's a lot of good info in there. So today's video, I'm going to be telling you about 5 different things that really helped me change my mindset and to get this almost 50 pounds off of me. Okay, but before we jump into the video, just a couple of quick things. So some of you may have noticed that I have been a little bit quiet for the past 2 weeks. I haven't uploaded and yeah, it's been driving me crazy. I completely miss you guys. But the reason for that is because unfortunately the stomach flu hit our family, and I'm talking my entire family, not even just my immediate household. Even my sister's house, my mom, all of us got slammed with the stomach flu. So either I've been dealing with my very sick children, trying to overcome the stomach flu, and even myself, it did hit me. Now, granted, it didn't hit me quite as hard as everyone else, so I was very thankful for that, but nonetheless, ooh, it has not been fun. It has not been fun. So everyone's starting to feel better now, finally. As you can probably tell, I'm feeling really great right now. So everyone's good now, and I will be back to my regular schedule of uploading. So if you're not subscribed to my channel and you also are on a plant-based weight loss journey, or you just want to follow along mine, then be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my future videos. All right, and secondly, as promised, especially if it's your first time landing on one of my videos, might be the first time that you're hearing this, but by the time this video is released, all of my weight loss recipe ebooks will be on sale for only $5 to the first 25 people, which includes my most recent weight loss recipe ebook, which is basically like the blueprint to how I got this weight off. So just in case it is one of the first times that you're landing on one of my videos, one of the main ways that I got this weight to shift was by eliminating my overt fats, things such as nuts, seeds, avocados, and of course oil. And then the weight just started flying off of me. Like literally the first 20 pounds came off of me effortlessly within the first 8 weeks. So I was keeping track of all the meals and everything that I was eating the most of, and then I put it together in an ebook because I knew that everyone was going to want to know exactly what I did to get this weight off. So if you are interested in finding out what those foods are, or if you're just in need of some more oil-free, whole food, plant-based recipes, they're all super simple, all super weight loss friendly, because obviously they've worked for me, so I'm pretty confident in saying that. So if you are in need of some, or you just want to check it out, then try to be one of the first 25 people, because if you are, you will get the books for only $5. So if you want to check those books out, I will have the link posted in my description box below. All right, so let's get into this video. Now, in all honesty, there's probably more than just 5 things that I changed, but these are the top 5 things that I feel helped me the most. So the first one we're gonna start with is that I stopped putting a time limit on my results. Now, before I used to be searching, the quickest, fastest, easiest way to get the weight off. And while I think that that's somewhat normal in the sense that obviously we want results as quick as we can, it definitely wasn't normal in terms of being realistic. I have definitely talked a lot about this on my channel about how my mindset used to be, that basically if I wasn't seeing results in 2 days or 4 days or a week, then I was throwing the towel in. Like I was just like, Kate, this isn't working. It's really quite ridiculous when I think of it now, but in all honesty, that is exactly how I used to think. So as you can see, by creating these unrealistic timeframes, it actually just ends up backfiring rather than being helpful in any way. And so I let it go. Like I truly let it go. I, almost if I could have physically taken it out of my brain and just set it on the shelf for another day, that metaphorically is what I did. I just forgot about it completely and just started to implement the changes to my diet and just didn't even worry about the weight loss aspect of it whatsoever. You know, it's kind of funny. It reminds me of how people always say, you know, when you're looking for love, that it's the moment that you actually stop looking for it that you'll find it. Kind of something like that. You know, it was like the moment that I forgot about, you know, getting this weight off and getting it off as fast as I can. And, you know, how much do I weigh just 2 days later, that type of thing. The moment I let that go and forgot about it is actually when it started to happen. As a lot of you who follow me already know, I don't weigh myself all the time. So I feel like with that in combination with, you know, just not even really focusing on how much weight am I losing at all mentally, that has really been freeing for me. You know, really that's the word that comes to mind. It's a form of freedom, because when we're attached to these mental chains of how much weight have I lost, and, you know, especially when you haven't really even given yourself any fair amount of time, then you're just sabotaging yourself, you know, and that's exactly what I did for many, many years. I wouldn't even give my body a chance to work its magic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just would throw in the towel far too quick before any results could have ever even come into play. It's actually quite sad when I hear myself say that out loud. So if this is something that you're doing and, you know, you're getting really frustrated because a week has gone by, or even let's, you know, give it a little bit more time, even a month has gone by and you're not seeing any, you know, drastic results or anything, I would just say, you know, stay the course. Possibly maybe tweak a few things to see if that can get things moving, but definitely don't throw in the towel and give up altogether, because it could literally just be around the corner, you know, that something's gonna click and all of a sudden you're gonna see that weight start being released. So if you can, really try to get out of your head about these time limits, or, you know, just these expectations that we put on ourselves that are often usually quite unrealistic. And I promise you, if you can get out of your own way a little bit, then your body can work its magic. All right, so the second mindset that I changed is believing that I should just eat whatever I need to eat to get the weight off, whether or not I enjoyed the food or not. Now, this is an important one because this one held me back for a really, really long time. Here's the thing. When you hear what someone else is eating, you know, to get the weight off, or you've read certain books or signed up for certain weight loss programs and they're telling you exactly what to eat, oftentimes we'll say, okay, I'm going to eat it because this is what works. But the problem with that is that then we're going into diet territory. You know, that's going to be a very short-term, short-lived type of thing. And that's not what we want. Ultimately, we want to change our lifestyle in a way that feels good to us, that feels comfortable, so that we can actually sustain that lifestyle long-term. What good is it if you start to eat a certain way, but you hate your life, you hate yourself, you know, you hate your food, and you're absolutely miserable eating this way? What good is that for the long term? Because you can only sustain that for so long before you've had enough, throw in the towel, and you're just kind of back into your old ways of eating, because no one's going to torture themselves indefinitely. And what I found out is, nor do you need to. It is completely unnecessary to torture yourself eating a way that doesn't feel good to you. So since losing almost 50 pounds, which that reminds me, I haven't actually even given a formal update yet, because the last you guys have heard it was that it was 40 pounds. Well, I've lost 7 pounds more. So I'm at 47 pounds that I have lost in, I think it's been 7 months now. So almost 50 pounds. What I have learned is that it is super important to enjoy your food, like right at the top of the list, kind of important, because that's the only way that you'll actually be able to stick with it. So a lot of you who follow me, then you already know that some of my favorite things that I was eating to get this weight off were my fiber protein shakes. So if you're new to my channel, I do have a chapter in my most recent weight loss recipe ebook that has 7 days worth of these shakes. And these shakes have been a huge part of my weight loss journey for multiple reasons, actually. I'm going to start out with a reason that maybe wouldn't stand out as the most popular reason that I would be drinking these, but it actually is one of the most important reasons I was drinking them, because I love them. I actually love the taste. I have a bunch of different flavors and I design them in a way that they're delicious. You know, they're meant to be delicious, almost dessert-like. I have Snickers, Reese's Pieces Buttercup, birthday cake flavor. You know, these flavors are designed to make me want more. And don't worry, I get green smoothies in. I have tons of huge salads. So I save, you know, my greens for all those other things. But when it comes to these shakes, I purposely like having them taste dessert-like because they're so easy to drink when they're like that. They also have helped me with cravings or if I need a snack, and they kept me full because one of the main ingredients in them that offer so much protein and fiber which we need when we're on a weight loss journey so that we do feel full, are beans. And now, while that might sound crazy to some, it might not even sound that delicious, I promise you, you don't even taste the beans at all. And in fact, the beans just make the shakes like super creamy. So anyways, I've had excellent feedback. So many of you have reached out to me and left comments for me on my videos saying that you've also had tremendous success with these shakes in helping get the weight off. So designing these shakes have been like a godsend for me because there's something that I can repeatedly go back to that are easy, convenient, fast, and I actually thoroughly enjoy them. But the shakes are just a piece of the puzzle. There are many different foods that I've enjoyed while getting the weight off other than just the shakes. Like, for example, I really reduced my pastas and my breads, which in that recipe ebook, there will be no pastas or no breads in any of the recipes. Instead, I swapped it out for wet starches like potatoes, rice, sweet potatoes are a favorite of mine. It's really about finding those favorite foods that excite you when it's time to eat. I love eating a ton of fresh fruit, so I haven't even worried about the whole fruit debate, about fruit makes you gain weight. I can promise you, fruit was not the reason why I was overweight in the first place. Promise. So I'm not going to let that concern me or worry me whatsoever. I've been eating a ton of fruit and the weight still seems to come off with no problem whatsoever. So I've been enjoying fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, like I mentioned before, green smoothies, lots of different foods that I actually really love and look forward to. So please, with all the beautiful recipes out there, there's so many free online, there's so many free on YouTube, even on my channel. I share a ton of my recipes here, or within my ebooks or somebody else's recipe books. There's just so many wonderful, healthy recipes out there that you should not have to be eating any that you truly are not enjoying. I've often joked a couple times that not only did I write that weight loss recipe ebook for you guys, but I actually wrote it for myself too, because I have one spot that I can just refer to, to get any of my favorite go-to recipes. But, for you guys, whatever your recipes are, wherever you're finding them, even if they're online, my advice to you is get a little book from the dollar store even. It costs you $1, $2 or whatever, and literally start making a list of your favorite go-to meals. Just start keeping track of the foods that bring you the most enjoyment, the foods that keep you the fullest longest. So keep track of these and eventually you can build up enough foods that you can just eat them on rotation. So every meal you're going to be eating is eventually going to be something that you're looking forward to. If you were anything like I was, please change your mindset on this and start to look at your meals as something that should be enjoyable and not just something that you should be suffering through just to get the weight off. All right, so the third mindset that I changed was creating a mental prison for myself surrounding weight loss. Like I literally had this militant type of style in my brain, like the all or nothing thing. Or much like the food thing I just discussed, committing to things that didn't feel good to me or that I just really didn't enjoy doing. Like committing to exercising in a way that didn't feel good to me or that didn't excite me at all. Start that for maybe 3 days or like a week until I just couldn't take it anymore. And then I feel like a complete failure, throwing in the towel. You know how the story goes. So since losing this weight, I've noticed something about myself that I changed. I have become a lot more gentle with myself and as well as a lot more respectful to myself. And honestly, something that I've been thinking about often is how we literally treat others better than we treat ourselves almost 99% of the time. And I don't know why we do that. I don't know why that's kind of human nature to be more thoughtful of someone else's feelings or well-being. And now that that's not a good thing, of course, that's the best way that we can be as well. But why do we forget ourselves in that equation? It's so often that we are so cruel, we're so hard on ourselves, we're so critical on ourselves, we're not respectful of ourselves and our bodies and, all the struggles and things we might have on our own plates while going through all of this, but yet somehow we can easily have compassion for someone else that was in the similar or same boat as we are in, but we can't see it for ourselves. I've changed that. I've really changed that, and I'm really happy to say that I've changed that. If I'm having an off day, maybe I am exhausted, maybe I didn't sleep good, maybe I'm not feeling well, maybe it's been a busy day with the kids. I homeschool my kids. I also have a child with special needs that requires a lot of attention and, just a lot of my energy, which is fine, but some days can be harder than other days. And I've learned to give myself a little bit of grace on those days. If I didn't have the best day, how I would see a best day to be in terms of my eating, or if I didn't exercise maybe like I had planned to, or, something like that. then I've learned to give myself grace over situations like that. I'm no longer this like drill sergeant in my head that, oh, you messed up, you didn't do it, you didn't get it done, you're a failure, you're this, you're that. All these awful things that sometimes we tell ourselves, which is just really, really too bad. And we all need to get better at being kinder and more gentle to ourselves. We need to learn to be our own personal cheerleader rather than, our own personal drill sergeant, and so I've kind of swapped out that drill sergeant, and instead I'm my own cheerleader. Like, you've got this, or it's okay, we're gonna do better tomorrow. A weight loss journey is not all about being perfect. And this was a huge mind shift for me, because I used to really have that all or nothing thinking, that I'm either all in and going strong, going hard. And the moment I messed up, it was done. I messed it up in my mind and was throwing the towel in. And I've talked a little bit more about this on my channel, so I'm not going to get into it too much here, but just the all or nothing thing is really self-sabotaging, so just keep in mind that even for myself, I'm almost 50 pounds down now, and I have not been perfect. And I've mentioned this many times on my channel before. I have had days that have been better than other days and days that are not so great. But the difference this time around is that I just kept pushing through. I didn't care. And again, by removing those unrealistic expectations of, well, I need to be down 10 pounds by this date, or, I need to eat this type of food because that's what's going to do the trick to finally get the weight off. I've learned to calm down. I've learned to calm down with all these erratic thoughts in my mind about what I need to do to get this weight off. And the more I find that I just release these thoughts and let these things go, the more I find that it's easier to actually lose the weight. I have dropped the all or nothing mentality. I just keep it moving. Even if I've slipped up, I just keep it moving. Because what I have learned is that it is the consistency of what we do the most that produces your result. And that can go either way. So if you are more consistently eating the wrong foods that don't support weight loss, then you're not going to end up losing the weight. You're going to stay the same, or even in some cases, you're going to gain weight. But if you're consistently eating the foods that do support weight loss and health, then eventually that weight is going to be released. It really is that simple. So once you can accept this truth, then all these other things we've told ourselves for years start to disappear. So don't worry about if you're not 100% perfect or if you slipped up. Just keep going. So I'm happy to say that I have successfully escaped my mental prison that I used to lock myself in for years and years. And my hope is that you guys can do it too. All right, so the fourth mindset change that I made was to start seeing food as fuel and medicine. Rather than this never-ending lifetime path to eating food strictly for pleasure, consequence-free. I mean, it's really hard because in fairness, these foods they've designed these days are so darn addictive. So it can be really, really challenging, and it's not completely our faults because a lot of us have eaten processed foods most of our lives and, are fully addicted to them. So there's one side of it that's not our fault and was slightly out of our control. But now is the time to start to wake up and to realize this, and that we have to learn to break these addictions. And that's precisely why following a whole food plant-based diet is amazing for this, because eventually those addictions just completely disappear once you start eating more whole foods. Unfortunately, a lot of people think that by just eating vegan, that you're eating super, super healthy. Unfortunately, you can be a very, very unhealthy vegan just like any other lifestyle because of all the processed foods. And actually, this is something that I've mentioned on my channel before. This is how I kind of stumbled into my weight loss in the first place, because I was having some gallbladder issues that I was just sick and tired of having attacks and not feeling well with my gallbladder. And I just decided to eliminate all overt fats because I was still eating, avocado toast or avocado in my salad, and a lot of dressings that were heavy on nuts and seeds, that type of thing. Because those foods are beautiful plant-based foods, nutritionally speaking. So I was eating them thinking that they were good for me health-wise, but in fact, they were actually hurting me as far as my gallbladder goes and evidently as far as my weight loss went. But because I decided to put my health first and kind of just forget about my weight loss, I ended up eliminating those overt fats, which I talked about earlier in this video. And as a result, not only did my gallbladder calm down and feel better, but the weight just started flying off of me. So it ended up just being a win-win situation for me that I just kind of stumbled into the moment that I put my health first. Then the weight loss was just a beautiful side effect. And for so long, I had no idea that it was the overt fats in my diet that was pretty much keeping me plateaued. And at one point I was even gaining weight. But my point is that as soon as I put my health first and the weight loss second, that's when the magic happened once again. I took the pressure off and the stress off of just focusing solely on my weight loss, and I started to focus on my health and putting the right foods into my body, and everything just perfectly fell into place on its own. So I would really strongly recommend that instead of focusing strictly just on getting the weight off, to also look at just eating the most nourishing foods and to try to, tell yourself that we don't deserve to just have the cake or the ice cream or, the chocolate or whatever it is. And these things that we convince ourselves we worked hard all week or, we're stressed out, so we deserve this. It's really wild, some things that we convince ourselves. No, what we actually deserve is a healthy, clean body. We actually deserve to put, the highest nutrient dense foods in our bodies that are going to make us feel good and operate on a higher frequency, have more energy, have more life within us. That's what we truly deserve. But it's that mindset that we need to change. We don't deserve the ice cream. We actually deserve the health. So when you switch that frame of thinking, you are going to be surprised at how much easier it is to actually eat the good stuff, and the weight loss will follow as a result. All right, so we've made it to the last one. If you're still with me, thanks for hanging in there. So the last one is that I really changed my way of looking at my weight loss journey. So instead of looking at it like it's the enemy, and constantly feel like I'm kind of going against the grain, I stopped looking at it like it was something that was holding me back, and instead just something that's part of me, something that's with me, and that's welcome to be with me. A lot of times we tell ourselves in our minds like, oh, I'll never be able to eat this again, or, I can't go out with my friends and, eat what they're eating. And then we start this pity party for ourselves and we start feeling bad for ourselves. And again, for me, that kind of feels like you're going against the grain, you're going against it, and you're looking at it as a negative thing, something that's holding you down or holding you back. And I used to think like that. I used to get frustrated and feel angry sometimes even. And that is honestly the exact opposite of how you should be looking at it and how you should be feeling. I have personally got to the point that I look at it like, who cares what anyone else is eating around me? Like, I actually don't care anymore. And that says a lot, because that used to be something that really would bother me back in the day, because I was so addicted to food. And it's not to say that when people are eating things that, I shouldn't be eating, that is always easy, because sometimes, truthfully speaking, I want what they're eating. Could have caught me in a bad moment. Maybe I'm hungry. Maybe I haven't had said food in a really long time, or maybe it's something from my childhood that is just, brings back all types of emotional attachments to this food. There can be multiple reasons. So it's not to say that it's always easy. Sometimes I want what I can't have or what I shouldn't be eating. But I have come a long, long, long way about caring what other people are eating around me and if it's something that I can't have. I kind of look at it like this. Everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own journey, including me, and I'm on mine. Now, when other people are eating unhealthy stuff in front of me, they have their own path and their own struggles and their own situations that they're dealing with or are going to eventually have to deal with as a result of their eating choices. And that's not my business or for me to judge, but what I'm focused on now is me. So others can feel free to eat what they want around me. I'm not going to judge it, but I'm just focused on me now. And again, just going back into that other mindset of I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to put the best quality foods in my body, not this garbage that's in front of me. Switching that mindset from throwing myself a pity party to being my cheerleader again, to celebrating the fact that I'm not eating this garbage, that I'm doing better for myself because I know that I deserve better. I know some people have mentioned on YouTube and stuff before, like, when you're trying to lose weight, just don't go out with your friends, don't eat with your family if they're not eating what you're eating. To me, there's absolutely no way I would take that advice. We're still living. Weight loss shouldn't be, the end all and be all of us. It's just something that we're experiencing. It's a part of us, but it's not the whole picture. We still need to live our life. I personally still go out to dinner with my friends and family. In fact, my husband and I have a date night tonight, and we will be going out. Will I be eating anything? No, I will not. Am I going to eat before I go? Yes, I will. And guess what? I'm still going to be able to enjoy, the experience of being out. I'm still going to get dressed up and look beautiful for my husband. He's going to look nice for me. We're going to have some wonderful conversation, and I'm going to be able to enjoy all the same elements of having a wonderful night out without having to make myself sick eating the food that they will be providing. I've learned to get comfortable with being uncomfortable sometimes. Like, it's really okay. I've talked about this on my channel before, and it is something that I stress because I feel like in the past there used to be this sense of panic that would come over me that if I couldn't eat what someone else is eating or do what someone else is doing, that I just feel frustrated and this panic would come over me, or I just throw in the towel at that point and just dive all in and do it anyways. And I've just really learned to calm down about that and realize that even when these moments or feelings come up, that they pass almost just as quickly. So even if I am really wanting something, I can walk away from it or give it 10 or 15 minutes and the moment passes. It's really quite that simple. So it's really not as big as sometimes we can work it up to be. I'm so much more fluid and flexible now. My weight loss journey is part of me, but it's not all of me. It doesn't consume me anymore like it used to. The real me, the wife, the mom, the daughter, the friend can coexist with the self-conscious version of me, whereas before that wasn't possible. My weight absolutely consumed me before. So I'm really, really happy to say that, by implementing these mind shifts that I've talked about today has really helped me to just calm down, go with the flow. And by doing that, that's precisely when the weight was released. We fight so hard sometimes within ourselves, and we believe that, if we're just harder on ourselves, more critical on ourselves, and more aggressive, that is the way that we're going to kick our butts into gear and get the weight off. And in fact, that couldn't be farther from the truth. I was that person for years and years and years, and for years and years and years, I kept the weight on. So it wasn't until I started to be a lot more gentle, a lot more understanding, a lot more flexible and fluid and gentle, just gentle with myself and respectful, that's when I was finally able to just calm down, take some deep breaths, go with the flow, and I was able to keep going with the flow. And finally, I'm sitting here at almost 50 pounds down. All right, everyone, so I'm gonna leave the video here. My hope is that some of my mindset changes can help you as well, because I know that we're not alone in these struggles. We really aren't. I am you. I may be on YouTube, but I am you in the sense that I've struggled all the same with my weight for years and years. And that's exactly why I'm making these videos on YouTube and sharing my weight loss journey here on YouTube, because I know I'm not the only one. I know that. We are more alike than we are not, especially in the weight loss realm. So if you liked today's video and you found any valuable content in it, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It just tells YouTube I'm doing a good job. And of course, if you are new to my channel and you want to follow along my weight loss journey, I still have probably about 20 pounds or so to go to get to where I'm, probably going to be comfortable being. Then be sure to hit the subscribe button, because I'll still be uploading all of my updates, different foods I'm eating, different things I'm doing to get the weight off. So I'd love to have you stick around. And again, if you're in need of some more weight loss friendly recipes, or you want to find out exactly what I was eating to get my weight off, then try to be one of the first 25 people, because after the first 25 people, the books will be back to regular price. So they're $5 right now. Link is in the description box below. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.